He wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for the boy sleeping beside him. Then, someone knocked on the window. The engine was off to save fuel. A dashboard clock glowed faintly. 2:17 a.m. Condensation clung to the glass, blurring the streetlights into pale halos. Evan Miller shifted in the driver's seat without making a sound. He had learned how to move carefully, how to breathe shallow, how to exist quietly. In the back seat, strong Noah, his 6-year-old son, slept curled beneath two mismatched blankets. One had cartoon dinosaurs fading from years of washes. The other smelled faintly of laundry soap and hope. Evan watched the rise and fall of Noah's chest and counted it like a prayer. This was their third night in the car. Evan hadn't planned for it. No one ever did. Plans unraveled after the layoffs, after the rent notice, after the last favor he didn't ask for, because pride had finally run out of room. He told himself this was temporary. 2 nights, maybe 3. Then he'd figure something out. But the cold had a way of stretching time. The first knock was soft. Evan froze. His heart slammed so hard he was sure it would wake Noah. He stared at the side mirror, seeing nothing but fog and darkness. Please be my imagination, he thought. The second knock was firmer. Evan's hand found the door lock by instinct. He didn't move, didn't breathe. He pictured the worst. Authority, judgment, questions he couldn't answer without risking everything. A shadow shifted beside the car. Evan leaned back slowly and turned his head just enough to see a woman standing under the streetlight. Middle-aged, coat buttoned tight. No uniform, no badge. She raised her hand again, then stopped when she saw Evan looking. "I'm sorry," she whispered through the glass. "I didn't mean to scare you." Evan swallowed. "It's late," he said, carefully. "My son is asleep." "I know," she said. "That's why I knocked." Her name was Grace Whitmore. Grace lived across the street in a narrow brick building with a small laundry room and a flickering hallway light she kept meaning to report. She worked early mornings at the hospital cafeteria and late nights at a volunteer center that never seemed to have enough hands. She'd noticed the car earlier, parked in the same spot. Windows fogged, too still, too quiet. Grace had learned to notice things. "I won't call anyone," she said gently, as if reading Evan's thoughts. "I just wanted to make sure you're okay." Evan looked back at Noah, then at Grace. "We're fine," he lied. Grace nodded, accepting the lie without agreement. "It's going to be cold tonight." "I know." She hesitated, then reached into her coat pocket and held up a ring of keys. "I have a storage room in my building. Heat works. It's not much, but it's warmer than a car." Evan's chest tightened. "I can't." "I didn't say you had to," Grace said. "I said it was there." Evan weighed the risks the way he weighed everything now. Heat versus fear. Gratitude versus danger. One wrong move could unravel what little stability he'd managed to protect for Noah. He had promised himself one thing above all else: never put his son in danger. Grace took a step back. "I'll leave the door unlocked for 5 minutes," she said. "If you change your mind." 5 minutes. The number echoed in Evan's head as she walked away. He looked at Noah again. The boy stirred, murmured something about dinosaurs, and settled. Evan pressed his forehead to the steering wheel. 5 minutes could change everything. Evan lifted Noah carefully, cradling him against his chest. Noah stirred, but didn't wake. Evan grabbed the backpacks, one with clothes, one with papers, and locked the car. The night air bit at his face as he crossed the street. The building door was open. Grace waited inside, holding it quietly. No questions, no looks of pity, just a nod. The storage room was small. Concrete walls, a folding table, 2 chairs, a portable heater humming softly in the corner like a promise. Evan laid Noah down on the blankets Grace had already placed on the floor. "Bathroom's down the hall," she said. "There's soup in a thermos. I made extra." Evan's voice failed him. He nodded. Grace paused at the door. "I'll check in the morning," she said. "No rush." When the door closed, Evan sat on the floor beside his son and let the quiet wash over him. Warmth seeped back into his hands. Evan had once fixed things for a living. Appliances. Broken motors. Anything with wires and patience. He liked problems that had solutions. After Noah's mother passed, Evan learned to fix other things. School lunches, bedtime routines, the hollow quiet of a house that remembered laughter. He worked nights, took odd jobs, saved where he could. Then the company folded. Evan had applied everywhere, been promised callbacks that never came, smiled through interviews that ended with polite handshakes and apologies. He kept going for Noah. Always for Noah. Sunlight filtered through the small window as Noah woke. "Dad," he whispered. "I'm here," Evan said quickly. Noah sat up, eyes wide. "Where are we?" "Somewhere warm," Evan said. "Just for a bit." Noah smiled sleepily. "It's nicer than the car." Evan laughed softly and pulled him close. Grace returned with coffee and toast. "I spoke to someone last night," she said carefully. "A friend." Evan stiffened. "Not the police," Grace added quickly. "A community coordinator. She helps families find short-term housing." Evan hesitated. "I don't want charity." Grace met his eyes. "Then don't call it that. Call it a bridge." The coordinator arrived later that day. Lena Torres, kind eyes, direct voice. She didn't ask why Evan was there. She asked what he needed. A motel voucher, 2 weeks of stability, leads on work. Evan accepted slowly, carefully, like a man relearning how to trust gravity. 2 weeks turned into a month. Evan fixed a broken freezer at the volunteer center. Then another. Word spread. Grace watched Noah run in the small courtyard, laughing with other kids. One night, Evan found an envelope taped to the storage room door. Inside was a note and a small check, an advance for work he hadn't done yet. Grace smiled when he tried to return it. "You already earned it," she said. Months later, Evan stood in a workshop with his name on the door. Not big, not fancy, honest. There was a knock. Evan opened the door to find Grace holding a box of cookies. "Just checking," she said. "Making sure you're okay." Evan laughed. "We are." That night in the car could have ended differently. A locked door, a silent street, a child waking to cold. But one knock, gentle, careful, changed the story. Because sometimes courage doesn't shout. Sometimes it whispers through glass.